I'll be honest, I don't know how to start this video, but I know with the power of God and the will of God, I can get through this. But what's good, it's your boy Breezy, welcome back to the channel. Now, today's video is, I truly feel like I found my purpose. I truly feel like I had a revelation the other day. Literally a day after I made my video, a whole bunch of other stuff has been just playing in my life, and I just have to get it out there. I have to talk about it now. So within finding my purpose, I had a huge revelation and like a huge just like breakthrough of, like, for me at least. I have like this whiteboard on my wall, and it had like all the goals that I had going into this year and what I wanted to do. I wanted to break 100,000 on Twitter. Like pretty much I wanted to like break 100,000 followers on like each social media platform. And those are just like personal goals of mine. And of course I had like other goals that I wanted to have. But honestly, in the grand scheme of things, within finding my purpose, I had a revelation in saying like, none of this actually matters. None of that actually matters at all. So what I did is that I went ahead, wiped all my goals clean. I have no goals no more. None. Zip. Nada. You're done, no, eh? What I wrote up on my whiteboard is my purpose. And what I feel as if God is trying to lead me is that I'm here to inspire others and glorify God. That's exactly like what I'm here to do. That's what I feel like I'm here to do, at least. Because like what I said in my last video, I said like I was at a very like stagnant position, but I was still doing what I love. Like I'm doing what I love right now. I'm making a YouTube video, making content for y'all. I felt like I've been going through like a whole bunch of stagnant times. Like I'm not really moving forward, but I'm still doing what I love. I love making content. I love streaming. I love making videos. I love doing that kind of stuff. And literally what God showed me the day after, literally the day after I posted that video, it changed my life. I'm not even gonna lie to you, bro. So recently I started listening to this podcast. It's called A Christian Podcast with Kevin Wilson. I recommend everybody go watch that or listen to it at least once. You know what I'm saying? Like it's a pretty insightful podcast, but in particular, there was one episode that I had listened to the other day, literally. And it was within finding your purpose in life. Like in my last video, I said like, I'm in a standstill. I'm like in a stagnant area in my life. Like I'm doing what I love, but I'm not progressing my career at all. I kind of felt lost in a sense, I'm not progressing. I'm not pushing forward what I want like in my life. But that like I had a realization like that's just not what God wanted me to be. God showed me that is not what he called me to be. Like I love anime. You can see it right now. Like that's personal to me. Like I love anime. Like I have it like all over my room. I kind of like wanted to make have like this anime character, like a facade, like on the internet. Like, I'm Breezy Senpai, you know what I'm saying? Like from the Akatsuki, you know what I'm saying? I'm nice with it, you know what I'm saying? But getting back to the episode that I watched, literally within finding your purpose, I'll just go ahead and leave the clip right here. And if you want to skip through it, it doesn't hurt my feelings at all. It's fine. But I feel like the main point of this video wouldn't be, justified if you didn't watch this part of the video. So please enjoy.
What would you say to the person that has been fighting their purpose or fighting their call, the call that God has placed on their life, to prevent them from not having to get to that point? To prevent them from not having to get to that point where God has to show them or everything has to get messed up before they can see? Like, how would you encourage that person that's just like, I don't really want to do what I don't want to do what God wants me to do at this point in my life. I just don't.
Biggest thing that I would make known to a person would be your purpose is bigger than you. Realistically, when a person is not accepting what God has called them to do or their purpose that God has destined for them, it's usually, one of two things, or maybe both. It's either they're afraid of what God has called them to, or they're not willing to give up the lifestyle that they're currently engaged in. And the reality is that I would tell a person, man, first of all, the lifestyle you're in right now can't even light a candle to what God has in store for you if you would just give him everything. That's number one. Number two, the lifestyle you're engaged in now, if it's hindering you from doing what God called you to, it's not for you. Man, Kevin, you know how much time I wasted, dude, trying to be somebody that God had not called me to be, trying to fit in with people who didn't even care about who I really was. So here's the deal. People loved me at the time because people finally loved me at a certain point, right? But they didn't love me for me. They loved me for who I had become. That was not who God called me to be. And a lot of people struggling with acceptance because they're only projecting a person, a certain facade, an identity that's not even really them. It's what they want to portray in order to be accepted. That's not real love, man. That's not real friendship. These people don't really love you for you. They love the version of you that you're presenting.
Again, like you had to go through a lot of hoops to finally realize all of this through this conversation. And this is one of the reasons I had you on, because I heard, I saw that video, your testimony, and I'm essentially trying to save a lot of people some time and heartache and headache, and because I know what you've been through, and you have this ability to speak words of knowledge to them. So, if I'm in a place where it's like, man, me just being me is not working. Me just being who I feel like God has called me to be, it ain't get me nowhere. It's not, the doors ain't opening up. I'm seeing everybody else, they out here wilding, doing whatever they want to do, and they're being prosperous. What gives me the strength, or what would make me want to walk into the calling of God when it just don't seem like that's profitable for me right now?
The thing is that we have to understand that if everything else is not working, then why is it not working? There has to be an answer to that question, right? If everybody else is able to do a thing, but I'm the only one, to me, that cannot do it without it being an issue, that means I have not just been called by God, I have been chosen by God. Many are called, but few are chosen. There's a duality to that statement. Number one, everybody's been called by God, but the ones that God has chosen have a different level of accountability, a different level of discipline, a different level of judgment than the average person. That's number one. The second side to that statement is everybody's been called, but the ones that God chooses are the ones that actually choose him.
Me being 25 now and being curious, like, of wanting to know and get to know Jesus Christ and God, like it wasn't like forced on me. It wasn't forced on me. Like I consciously wanted to go to church. I wanted to learn more about it, because I feel like when we get to a certain age in life, things just come to us, and we like get to like really think about if we want to do it or not. Religion was one thing that I thought, like, me being the age that I am now, like, I actually want to know God. I want to get to know Jesus Christ, because this life is like I said, it's temporary, it's short. And so I want to live life and experience everything that life has to offer.
If it's not working out, you have to, there comes a point in time in your life where you as a person have to be real with yourself and say, none of this is working out. How much time am I going to waste pursuing something that's never going to pan out? But the reality is that there has to be a reckoning with self at some point, right? Because a lot of people are not willing to be honest with themselves. And that's why they're constantly doing things. That's why they're constantly moving. They never take time to sit down and assess themselves, because realistically, Kevin, people are afraid of what they'll find if they sit down and let it get quiet for 5 minutes.
How do we get to that place where we can just be still? Because I mean, sometimes for me, sometimes I'm like, man, when I sit still, it's just like, and then, you get distractions and all this stuff. I know people that it's just like the burden of sitting down and potentially being exposed to what's that deep down inside of you is scary. And so what's on the flip side of that?
If I can actually be real with myself for a second and just sit, right? What I will find on the other end of that sit down, it may be painful, truly. I'm going to be honest. I mean, you may have to unlearn some things. You may have to rediscover some things. You may even have to deal with some pain, some scars, some trauma that you never wanted to address. But on the other end of that, there is freedom and there is healing. And that's what we need more than anything. Healing and freedom, right? Because the truth is, everybody's searching for something, but you'll never find it if you never take the time to see what's blocking you from getting there. I tell people all the time, serving Jesus Christ can't be for mama. It can't be for my boyfriend. It can't be for my girlfriend. It can't even be for my friends and my family. It has to be for me, because the reality is the only way I'll ever understand who Jesus Christ truly is if I give myself a chance to discover him.
I'm gonna be honest with you guys. I didn't believe it at first either when I first listened to the podcast, because I was like, that's literally what I'm going through right now. But it's like, is he really talking about me? But then I looked around and everything that was happening in my life, I'm like, bro, like, this is it. This is really what's happening right now. That's why I had my revelation. I was like, okay, God is real. This is real. What am I going to do about this? How am I going to advance his kingdom of heaven? You feel me? So I have to do everything in my power, everything in my soul and willpower to advance his kingdom and glorify God within everything I do. But guys, the main point of this video is that we all have a purpose. We all are here for a reason. We're not just here to have fun. We're not here to drink, smoke, have sex outside of marriage. We're not here to do any of that. We're here for a purpose, and one purpose only, is to advance God's kingdom and glorify God. That's exactly what we're here to do within everything that we do, because when I really started trying to get to know God, I was scared that I was gonna have to give up everything that I had. You know, I was scared that I was gonna have to give up my PC, my camera, my equipment. I was scared to like having to give up everything and just move within God, which if that's what happens to happen, that has to happen. God literally came to me and said, no, that's not what I want you to do. And in fact, I'm gonna make a compromise. He wants me to advance his kingdom through my content, through what I'm doing right now. Because literally last week, I went and talked to my cousin that I haven't really talked to in like years. With everything that's happening now, like why is he now just entering my life? Why are we now just getting back into connection with each other? Last week, when I went over to his house, we were just kicking it like old times. Like if you were there in the room, you would have never thought that we were apart for 5 years or something like that. You would have never thought that me and him were away for 5 years, the way that we just clicked up with each other, like how we started talking to each other. Everything is falling in alignment. And literally, I told him, like, why aren't we doing a podcast? Why aren't we doing a podcast with each other? Why aren't we doing what we want to do in life? But we have to do it within the parameters of what God has us to do. We have to glorify God as well. What I feel like I'm here to do is inspire others, glorify God. That's plain and simple. That's it. No ifs, ands, or buts about it. I'm fully invested in it now. The way that God's timing is so perfect, bro. Because literally, I had to get through hell. I had to get through hell and back to get where I am right now. And I wouldn't be where I'm at if God wasn't there in my life. Like there was point in times where I was like, bro, like why am I going through this? Like I never had suicidal thoughts. But if I never took the initiative to go to church with my mom when she had an offer to go, I don't want to know what would happen if I didn't take the initiative to go to church with her. It may have led to suicidal thoughts. It may have led to something else. So I'm just so thankful for my mom. I'm thankful for God, you know, and I'm just grateful to have this life that I have right now. I'm grateful to have everything that's around me. And we should all feel the same, okay? Like we should never take this for granted at all. I was about to curse right there. I need to stop. I'm doing really good about not cursing no more. God loves us and God understands us. And that's why we're here. We're here to glorify him and advance his kingdom. Like with everything that's been happening in my life, bro, it's like, I honestly feel like I am chosen. Like, I feel like I am chosen, bro. Like not to like boast or anything like anything about it, because like, I don't see anybody higher or lesser than me. We are all equal. That's how I feel. That's how I truly feel. We are all equal in this world. And we're here for a reason, bro. You know, we're here to serve God and we're here to glorify him. And I'm not going to take it for granted. I'm not going to take it for granted at all. If God literally chose me to advance his kingdom and to glorify him and to, you know, get everyone aboard, like, bro, I'm going to take advantage of that, because whatever I'm doing right now is not advancing his kingdom. Whatever I'm doing right now is not glorifying God. And I know like some people are probably watching this video like, bro, like Ben, I know I'm so happy that you found your purpose, but what about me? Like, what am I doing wrong? If you feel like you're in a stagnant place, if you feel like you're in a standstill place where it's just like nothing's working for you, just give your life to Christ. Give your life to the Lord. He will make it all better. Because we live in a wicked world of like, we're sinful beings. So it's like, it's in our nature to sin and, you know, be a part of like wicked activities like drink, smoke, you know, go to parties, have sex with the, outside of marriage. I mean, it's not what God wants. It's not what he wants. And so am I saying that like after you read the Bible, you're going to have a perfect life? No, absolutely not. I mean, literally, like I'm still like battling temptation right now. I'm battling temptation, but I'm winning. I'm winning, bro. I haven't had a really bad temptation outburst in a while since I started reading the Bible. And I thank God for that. That's all God right there. See, like, and I'm glorifying God and I'm advancing his kingdom. That's what we're here to do. You feel me? And look, y'all can call me a Jesus freak all you want. Y'all can say like, Ben, you're wilding. You know, you're being weird right now. I don't care, because my purpose is literally what God wants. The creator of the whole entire universe. So let me get this straight. Let's look at it like this, right? Your main job is to clean the bathrooms. But if you're going outside the bathroom to clean the walls, clean the door, clean like the ceiling fan in another room, get supplies for other people, you're not doing what you're supposed to do. That's not why you got hired. You got hired to clean the bathrooms, not do all this other stuff. So you mean to tell me the creator of everything, not just this planet, but the entire universe, you're telling me if the creator of the universe came down to you and said, I want you to do this, I want you to do that, and you don't do that, that's solely on you. That is solely on you. But look, just be mindful of what you're doing. If you're not doing it for God, then it's pointless, right? Like that, like read the Bible. Just read the Bible. That's all I gotta say. But look, I thank you guys for watching the video. Like I said before, I know it was all over the place. I think I'm gonna start making my content within the next couple of weeks. You know, I want to get good insight on the Bible. I want to like read the Bible more before I actually start making my content on my YouTube channel. So it might be a while before I start posting again, like maybe like a couple weeks or like maybe a month or so, which is fine. I'm cool with that. That is perfectly fine. If I need to take time out of my life to, you know, get right with the Lord and understand and get to know Jesus Christ and understand Jesus Christ, that is perfectly fine. I am fine with that. I'll see you on the next one. Stay breezy. All right. Peace and God bless.
Encourage, you know, I just ask you to just encourage that person that's like, why would I just waste, you know, this feels like a waste of time, or I want to live like this.
Yeah. Well, I mean, man, it's God is so timely, and you even having this convo with me is timely. This is what I say. What I want to say to every single person listening and watching, right, is this. I've been in your shoes. I'm not talking to you from a place of Pastor Jonathan Baker or Apostle Jonathan Baker. I'm talking to you from a place of a person who can relate to where you are. I've been in that position where all I wanted to do was have a good time, drink, smoke, have sex outside of marriage, have a good time. Because, man, you only get one life. I even have YOLO tatted on me, dude. But the reality is, yes, you only live once in this shit. But when this is done, there's a whole nother life that's going to be lived. And you have only two places you can go. And here's the deal about that. How I live here determines where I spend the rest of my life for eternity. And I'm going to be real with you people. I was willing to sit down and say, I don't want to spend the rest of my life in hell in a place that was not designed for me to begin with, all because I was more concerned about having a good time in the temporary place. This is a temporary place. No matter how many bottles we pop, no matter how many parties we attend, no matter how many clubs we're at, no matter how many women we have sex with or men we have sex with, all of that is going to be left in the temporary phase. And the difference between eternity and temporary is literally 1,000 to 1. So when you really think about it, the truth is none of this matters anyway if it's worth having fun over my destiny. Like, my purpose is way more important than a temporary time of having fun. Because the truth is, having fun and yet it being detrimental to my spirit, it's not really worth having.